What's going on all? Thanks for tuning in. Heavyweight update 3. So Usyk versus Dubois official, August the 26th in Poland. Whyte versus Anthony Joshua official in the O2, the 12th of August. And Wilder and Ruiz, I believe, is still in negotiations, but Wilder's now saying that he's, prepared to wait for Joshua. So, it's up to Ruiz to really take that fight. If I'm Ruiz, I'm taking the fight because, if he beats Wilder, he could possibly say, hey, why don't I jump in with AJ at the end of the year? Make it a trilogy fight. So, if I'm Ruiz, I'm fighting Wilder, taking the opportunity. Even if it's a lower offer than expected, I'm fighting him. Wilder's only lost to one guy. And to have Wilder on your resume as a win is huge. Wilder being, highest knockout ratio in boxing history, heavyweight division. To have him on your resume is a big thing, So, if I'm Ruiz, I'm taking the fight. Tyson Fury yet to announce an opponent. And so, we got the first fight, which is the Joshua versus Whyte fight. I believe that Whyte will get the KO. I think that he will win by knockout, uppercut. I think that Whyte's just too easy to put on the canvas. He's been knocked out from that uppercut numerous times. Povetkin, Rivas, Parker's even put him down with the uppercut. And obviously Anthony Joshua, knocked him out last time with the uppercut, knocked him out cold. So, I'm expecting that to be an easy win for Joshua. I think that he will do it within six rounds. Alexander Usyk, I think that he will outbox Dubois, possibly knock him out. Dubois' last fight, he should have lost that fight. He was losing, and then all of a sudden, he got lucky, you could say. He was losing the fight. He was on the canvas against a cruiserweight. And we know that Alexander Usyk is a cruiserweight as well. So I'm expecting Usyk to win by knockout as well against Dubois. I just think that Dubois doesn't have much in the tank. He can't keep up the pace. We saw that with Joyce. Joyce broke him down and, made him quit, or I should say, destroyed his eye, in the late rounds. He's also been injured too, Dubois. I don't think that he will knock out Usyk. If he is to win, it has to be by knockout. Usyk's the far better, superior boxer. We've seen what he done to Joshua twice, as well as Chisora. He outboxed Chisora. So, Dubois is going to have to get the knockout to beat Usyk in Poland, August the 26th. So, it's good to see these heavyweight fights happening. And obviously we have, Joyce against Zhang as well, happening in September. So it's something to look forward to. Unfortunately, Wilder, Ruiz isn't looking too promising. I hope it does happen. Ruiz's team did say, listen, well, I should say Ruiz did say, we're coming after you. So I hope that fight happens. And Tyson Fury, it's disappointing, it really is. He hasn't really been active at all against decent fighters. He fought, obviously, his mandatory against Whyte. And then he jumped in with Chisora, a fight that we knew that he was going to win comfortably. He's already beaten Chisora twice in the past. And I was actually hoping that Tyson Fury will be the one that fights all the top heavyweights. and an active fighter, but unfortunately, it's been disappointing. It really has, There's a couple of times he could have fought Usyk. There's a couple of times he could have fought Joshua. We've already seen him fight Wilder 3 times, which was great to see, but basically after that, he's been fighting guys that we know he's going to beat. And I understand, he dropped the Ring Magazine title. He wants to break records. He broke the record for the most sales. I believe it was 94,000 in the UK against Whyte. So now he wants to tie with Ali with the 3-time Ring Magazine title. Tyson Fury, to me, it seems like he's all about breaking records. He's all about making the most money. He's all about making the most noise. But I think that, legacy is more important than that. These fighters, they have millions of dollars. And you got to understand, there's going to be a point of time where they just don't look the same. We saw what happened to Ali. And I know that Ali, it's a comparison not to make, but a couple of shots to the head could change their whole career. For Tyson Fury, he really needs to be a lot more busier. All these heavyweights are already in their mid-30s, Anthony Joshua, Wilder, late 30s, Joyce, late 30s, Zhang, I believe he's 40 or could be 39, Alexander Usyk, mid-30s. So, these guys should be fighting 3 times a year, 3-4 times a year, 4 times might be pushing it, but 3 times at least, fighting each other. We all know styles makes fights. Wilder might just knock out Joshua. Joshua might, beat Fury. Who knows? Usyk might beat Fury. Or vice versa, Some guys might beat other guys that can't beat each other, So, these guys need to fight each other soon. They can't afford to be this inactive. I know that the AJ versus Wilder fight is heavily talked about end of the year. That fight definitely needs to happen. That fight's basically 5 years in the making. We've been waiting for 5 years for that fight. We need to see that as soon as possible. Tyson Fury needs to fight Usyk, and then he needs to fight Joshua. And then he needs to fight the rest of the other top contenders. There's other heavyweights out there. We got the Michael Hunters. Michael Hunter, we know that Fury struggles with shorter heavyweights. He may give him a good fight. Like I say, styles makes fights. So, I'm hoping that these heavyweights step up. The names are definitely there in terms of this era. It's a new era. The Klitschko's are gone. There's no Lennox Lewis and things like that. We got a new era. We got new names. So, these guys need to fight each other. And I hope that they do soon. Besides that, I just thought I'd update everyone. Heavyweight boxing, that's my lane. Of course, I will do breakdowns of every other division and all the big fights. But in terms of heavyweights, that's all I got today. Leave your comments on it. Who do you look forward to the most? What fight do you look forward to seeing the most? And we'll talk soon. Hope you have a great day. And I'll catch you next time. Have a good